Hello everyone, trick or treat. Welcome back to Bits and Bob's Divination. My name is Caitlin and today we're going to be looking into the tricks and treats on their way in for you this spooky season. So let's go ahead and dive right on in. Alright, so welcome back my beautiful kindred spirits and everyone else who is joining us here for another Monday reading, trick or treat. We are here with another fun one. This is going to be quite spooky, but mostly just a lot of fun. Honestly, I wasn't sure how this reading was going to go with the tricks and the treats and new setup that I'm doing throughout them, but I had such a blast and there's a lot of fun surprises within each of these piles. So I hope you guys are excited here with me. And if you are, do let me know in the comments down below or with a like. I'd love to hear your guys' feedback. But yes, let's go ahead and get started looking at these piles. But before you do, I just want to remind you guys to check out the snail mail readings that I do for private readings if that's something that you're interested in, as well as the new paper that I've been putting out recently to help out within your spells and rituals. That is handmade and completely safe to put in the earth or spread into the wind or whatever you decide to do with your rituals, as it is completely eco-friendly and 100% recycled. So if that's something you're interested in, then feel free to check out all the different offerings that I have down below for private readings and other fun ritual items, as well as subscribe if you are new to join this kindred spirit community. But we're going to go ahead and start looking into the piles. So for each of the piles, I decided to choose a different treat here. So for pile number 1, we have here the Krackel. It is a little Krackel Bar, or a crunch bar is how I've always kind of known them as well. And it says here crisped rice in milk chocolate. So it has that like Rice Krispie vibe in chocolate. So that is the Krackel for pile number 1. For pile number 2 here, we have special Hershey chocolate in the dark flavor. So it says here mildly sweet chocolate. So there you are with the special dark for pile number 2. I personally love dark chocolate, so that sounds delicious. And then the third one here, we have the Mr. Goodbar, also in Hershey's, they all are, and it says peanuts in milk chocolate. So that is the Mr. Goodbar for pile number 3. So those are the different treats you have here to choose from. But as always, before you do, we are going to take a deep cleansing breath together here in a moment, just so you can really refresh your mind, kind of decide based off of flavor, decide based off of look, or just decide based off your own intuition for each of them. So let's go ahead and take that deep cleansing breath together here now. And as always, there is no right or wrong way to choose your piles. You can choose 1 pile, 2 piles, all 3 piles. Choose a pile, flip-flop, change your mind. Do whatever really calls to your heart and to your intuition here today. There's really no right or wrong way to do it. All of the timestamps will be down in the description as well as in the chapter marks of the video for your convenience. And with all of that said, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, check out my Instagram community, the snail mail readings and offerings that I provide, or just have a lot of fun with these here today. So I hope you guys are enjoying your spooky season, and we're going to go ahead and get started with pile number 1. Hello Group 1, if you decided to choose the Krackel Candy Bar, then this is the pile for you. I'm going to go ahead and set it down right here so you can see it during your reading, as we're going to be really playful with this one today. It's definitely going to be a new setup for me, something new, and so we're just going to play around, see how it goes. But we're going to be using the charms, the watercolor affirmations. We're also going to be using several different oracle decks, which I'll have listed in the description below, and we'll also be using the Antique Anatomy Tarot for this spooky season. So if you guys are settled and ready to go, we're going to go ahead and start looking into what tricks and what treats are on their way in for you. So feel free to send your energy in through time and space, and we're first going to look for a tarot card for your trick and also a tarot card for your treat, and then sort of get some more information with oracles and Lenormand cards. So When I talk about these, though, there's a gray area between tricks and treats, right? So our tricks can be something that could be a trick under someone's sleeve, but it could also be something that's more of a surprise or something that's more humorous. And then we can have something that is a treat, but it could end up being, a treat that makes you feel sick or something that's just like overly sweet, right? So there's definitely a gray area between these cards, and we're going to see where you're walking the line between them. So, all right, group 1, let's look for your trick first. So your trick and then your treat. So what trick is on its way in for you, group 1? So here we have the 6 of Elixirs. So this is definitely one of those cards that for some people, nostalgia isn't always that great depending on the type of memories that you have and things like that, but then it can be wonderful for others. So it is one of those ones that honestly is going to depend on the childhood memories that you had, or possibly just in general the types of memories that you're going through right now and what's coming up for you. They could be more painful memories or more beautiful ones. So this definitely has a gray area already with the 6 of Elixirs or the 6 of Cups. But let's see what treat is on its way in. What beautiful treat is on its way in for you. We have another elixir card. So we have 2 cup cards, a lot of emotions going on right now with the 9 of elixirs here. So there is the card. But yeah, so we've definitely got a change of pace between these 2 cards, and neither of them are specifically and wholeheartedly great. But we're gonna see more information as we go on. This is also the wish card, so the fact that you've got that as a surprise or a sweet or a treat on its way in for you is telling me that if you have wishes that you've been doing, wish crafting, any manifestation work, there is something on its way in that is being heard, right? If you've been asking or praying or something like that, it's definitely being heard and working on its way to you. So let's get some more information. We're gonna grab a card here. We've got beauty coming in here as our top card. So we have beauty coming in between your tricks and your treats. This definitely has wow, okay, so things are starting to come together, right? With this mirror, it's unlocked so much for me with your guys' pile already. I wasn't exactly sure where it was trying to head, but we're gonna get more information. But what I do like already is that we have a lot of emotions going on, Venetian sort of energy, and then we also have this almost like you're moving from looking at your memories as a place that could be possibly more difficult, or that trick side, and moving them into being something that can be a beautiful treat for you, or moving towards more happy memories, making new happy memories, or creating a new space that you can reflect in your memories with more confidence. But yeah, definitely loving that. Let's get some more information on the 6 of elixirs, please. The 6 of elixirs. Okay, so we've got the lilies of the valley, or the lilies here. They definitely talk about freedom, liberation, and beauty for sure. So we have the number 20 as well as the King of Spades. King of Spades or the King of Swords here, which I think is really pretty too with these pink flowers. We've got a lot of pink, we've got a lot of beauty, we've got a lot of blue. It's taking that blue water and growing it into something very mysterious. I really love your guys' pile so far. Let's see your treat. Let's get some more information on this 9 of elixirs, please. So in this case, you have the Rider, which is of good news on its way in. It talks about good news. It talks about muses or music. It talks about creativity on its way in as well, because there's a bard here. They like to play music or use their creativity and have that as a way to channel their feelings into the world. So that's a beautiful treat on its way in for you, is using creativity as a way to express your emotions. It's definitely something you should try out and see the beauty in it. We have the number 1 here as well as the 9. Oh my goodness, the 9 of elixirs and the 9 of cups. That's so cute that came up together, because this also represents the 9 of cups. So you have here the 9 of cups coming up with the Rider. So definitely confidence coming in. and almost like you're finally seeing the beauty and the creativity that is your own light and spirit and soul. Wow, this is definitely, like, I didn't know if these piles were going to be really spooky or not, or what. Like, I wasn't exactly sure where they were going to go, and I love that your guys' pile has a lot to do with liberation, beauty, moving forward, finding a way to just stand in your own confidence, and the way to get there is a lot of it has to do with moving through your emotions. Emotions, even in the word emotion, it talks about emoting or moving your emotions into motion, moving those feelings into something that you can create or something that you can see and physically understand and tangibly start working through so that they can become more beautiful memories for you, or so that you can start to unlock parts of that beauty that hides behind some of the darker cloudy sides, that smoky side that's within this card. For some reason, I feel like you guys might need to just look at this card for a second. I don't know exactly why, but feel free to just take a second and meditate with this card if you want. Feel free to pause, because I do think there's a lot of I feel like there might be shapes that you guys could see in the light here and in that smoke that might just be unlocking something about, maybe if you guys aren't sure what these memories are, like I said, it could be even becoming unlocked for you in a way that you're finally facing them and seeing them for what they really are, or seeing them from a new perspective that you hadn't before through someone else's eyes. And seeing the beauty of these memories from the past, or just enjoying the memories of this past, of this time. The autumn season, for me personally, is very nostalgic, where I just want to constantly cozy up in a little blanket. There's that routine there. There's a lot of creativity for me personally as well. So I definitely feel you guys with this one. But let's go ahead and dive even deeper and pull some advice cards here. So let's see, what's some advice for unlocking these beautiful nostalgic moments for group 1 here with these tricks and these treats, which so far have been quite positive on both sides. So group 1, feel free to send your energy in through time and space here now. Group 1. Any advice coming in? Okay, so we have 2 here. So we have both play among the grass and wild violets lie undisturbed little secrets to uncover. And there's a little circle of mushrooms here. And then underneath, we have adapt. So it says adapt. You will get yourself where you want to be by adapting, changing lanes, moving course, switching, adapting, or just changing your mindset. You don't even have to make physical movements. It can just be that you start to change. But there is this beauty play. There is this creativity with play, right? There's this young spirit. A lot of inner child work as well could be coming through here as a lesson from these tricks moving into a treat for you. And when you start to adapt those, like I said, you're seeing them from a fresh set of eyes. Maybe as an adult you're seeing them differently and you're finding the beauty in those spaces, or starting to heal through them as well. Liberating yourself from the past could be a really beautiful way to create this confidence for you. And the writer also does talk about possibly moving away from things. So you may be starting to move away from past events that just no longer serve you anymore, or spaces that you had to adapt in, but now you no longer have to, because you've already liberated, or you're in the process of liberating yourself through that, so that you can feel really confident with where you're going and in your life. The biggest treat here is honestly confidence, creativity is coming in, feeling very inspired by the world again, to play, to seek out mystery, to play in your own imagination. There's so much beauty in this. But I do want to pull you one more card, and then we are going to move on to your charms and see what else is possibly coming in here for you during this spooky season, or whenever you're watching. So group Oof, you got a lot here. I may not hit all of them, but it may just be because a lot of you guys are watching this pile, especially since they all fell face up, which doesn't always happen. So take which one resonates most with you within your pile so far. But we do have, okay, don't waste a today with a tomorrow. So that's all about making sure that you are really taking in and being present in the moment, or not waiting things out, like waiting out your healing or waiting out for something to come, like just taking advantage of the moment. So we have that one. Then we also have inhale courage, exhale fear, listen before you act, and family and friends. So those are all of the cards here. Hopefully they're all the correct direction for you, but those are all of the cards. A lot of mixed bag in terms of color here as well. So there's something about balancing color out, or rainbows or something like that you should definitely play around with your full. That's what I was thinking, right? Okay, so you should definitely play around with your full side of expressing yourself. So in that case, like with your creativity, doing the whole rainbow. Let's talk about the sadness. Let's talk about the good stuff and the memories. Let's talk about the whole thing and the gray area in between, right? The muddy mess that creates a rainbow, right? A rainbow comes from the rain. It comes from cleansing. It comes from feeling, and then having that rainbow come through. So for you, I think a lot of this wonderful good news, these good messages, all that kind of stuff is going to start coming to you and flooding to you when you start to express yourself through these emotions and outwardly expressing them either to yourself or to other people as well. Maybe you haven't really talked to someone about how you've been feeling lately, and the way that you can express that is either through poetry, through written word, through possibly the way that you are creatively expressing yourself through like makeup, through beauty products, through baths and rituals in that way, through music especially too, since we had that little like harp. But with that friends and family, it's just telling me that like I think that for them to really listen and understand where you're coming from and understand your full side, you have to find a way or a type of muse or inspiration for you, a path for you to play in, so that they can understand and see what you are expressing to them. And that way you aren't feeling stuck or held back. And that's a way to adapt your words into something that is more that your friends and family can actually consume and understand on your level. Right? So I just think that there's a lot of beauty in that expression. Yeah, so I think I'm going to leave it there. Definitely, as always with these readings, feel free to look at all of the different colors, the different symbols, different things, and see what comes through for you. But we're going to move on to the charms so you can really see a little bit more information between these tricks and these treats for you. I hope you guys are enjoying. If you are, please do let me know with a comment down below or a like. I really do appreciate those who have liked the video and commented, especially with this video. I am curious, like, what do you love about this holiday season? Are you going to be doing any fun rituals, plans for Samhain or for Magic or anything like that? Or even if you're watching in the future or over in the springtime for those in the southern hemisphere. But I am just curious, like, what are y'all up to? And then also, if you want, feel free to send down below, because I just think it'd be a lot of fun, like your favorite knock knock joke as a kid going up to like do your trick and treat. I personally had a specific one that I don't remember the exact wording, but it was something about Winnie the Pooh, and I loved it so much, and I said it to all of my neighbors multiple times every year. I'm sure they were over it, but do let me know what yours was down below if you have one, and let's just have a little laugh. But let's move on to your charms and finish off this reading, see what other tricks and treats are on their way. I think I'm going to split this up between tricks and treats again, and then the things in the middle. So here we go. Your tricks and treats. Group 1. Okay, definitely more on the treat side, so that's exciting. Okay, so I'm going to just move some of this around so we can really look through this. And even with these charms, as always, feel free to see what you see coming through. But I'm going to go ahead and zoom in so you can really see the whole thing here. Okay, so here in the center, we honestly don't have a lot going on. We have one little bead here. It's kind of like oil and slick. So this is also got that oh my goodness, it has the rainbow again. So we have this beautiful rainbow. So there's something about playing with color, playing with, I even am seeing especially those who are like maybe in the spring, although in the fall it's quite a lot of fun too, but like playing with chalk on the sidewalk or something like that, like something really tangible and fun with like some chalk, or playing with actual young ones in your life or something, or with your inner child, just letting it play, whatever that your playful creative moment was as a kid. Let that happen, let that come out in you, that inner child, let them play. So as I said, I split this down the middle. So here we have more on your trick side. So some of the things that are coming in here, and I'm going to just pick them all up so you can really see them since there aren't too many here. So we have the letter H, and then we also have so that could be a person, a place, or something like that. But we have peace coming in, and then we have peaceful conversations with those around you, because this represents a pawn or someone in your life who is possibly being ignored at this time. So this could be you or someone else. It's just a significator. See how it resonates for you. But with the cup of tea, it always makes me think of when people have to have like a difficult conversation with someone, something that you have that just needs to be said, possibly about these past memories. But coming to peace with them, coming to terms with them, and it can be something as simple as an argument last week, or something much farther into the past. But people are like, I'll put a cup of tea on, or I'll put a kettle on, when you need to have those difficult, deep conversations with someone, and they may just be giving you some peace of mind. So that is both a trick and a treat in that way, I would say. But those are the ones that you have on that side. And then on the other side here, we have a few more. So in this case, we have, like I said, I feel like there's people watching over you on a more spirit guide side. So this is like a spirit guide. It can represent gods, goddesses, deities, angels, whoever you work with, but there is something about them coming in and helping and being a treat at this time, possibly around different actions, because it fell on the action moon. So this is about putting action towards your goals. So they seem to be wanting to help on that level. We have two different numbers coming in here. We have 3 and 2, so this could be 23 or 32, maybe someone's birthday, maybe you're turning 23 or possibly turning 32, but there's something about 3 and 2. 3 represents usually collaboration or working with more people. So in this case, when we look at this little pie, we have the 3 coming up to next to small celebrations, those small little moments, because I have 2 of these types of charms, and I always think it looks like a little disco ball. So this represents smaller celebrations. So it's not like the big things, like the big holidays, but smaller events that just end up becoming those really beautiful moments that are like I'm just celebrating life. And it makes me think of the 3 of Cups with this 3, because there is self-care, and then there's also this my mom always thought of it as like a little lampshade. It's really kind of hard to show. It kind of looks like a little lampshade, but then it also looks like a flower that's just sort of like dulled. So if you've been feeling kind of low lately and you need some of that celebration in your life, definitely call up some friends, call up some family, try to have like a little family game night, have those small moments, FaceTime a friend, have a picnic, something like that. Just enjoy your company with them, because I think they're going to be quite a little treat for you. And then on the 2 sides, this could be partnership. These could be people in your life that you are in a relationship with. But there seems to be closure happening here. And closure can mean, like, obviously, it can mean closing off a relationship. And for some of you, maybe that is a really beautiful treat. But for those of you who are wanting to stay in your relationship, it also can just mean that you're, after having these deep conversations, the treat comes in that you guys can put that to rest, you know what I mean, or move through that and express that to a partner of yours. The last one that we have here is the little money charm. It's a little, I don't know why, it just makes me think like that money is on its way, like the money charm is just on its way. So there's something about finances coming in. You're going to have some financial gain, not something major is not what I'm getting here, but just something small. I just feel like you're going to feel really confident in your job because of maybe a small pay raise, or it could just be that, you found a little dollar bill, or maybe you were going through your pants and you found like $5 that you didn't know you had, and like you're like, ooh, nice. So it just seems like there's something kind of lovely happening on that front. It's going to be a lovely treat for you. So I do believe that's all of the charms. As always, feel free to take a little second and see what comes in for you. But I'm going to go ahead and close off this reading. As always, let me know how it resonated for you down below. If you enjoyed this type of sweet little surprises with these tricks and these treats. I might even do this beyond the season if this is something you guys really like. But yeah, do let me know with a comment down below. Let me know your knock knock joke. Also, feel free to give this video a like. And if you would like to subscribe, feel free to subscribe to join this Kindred Spirit community and see more of my videos that I put out every single Monday. And lastly, if you want to support this channel even further, feel free to check out the snail mail readings that I do or the other offerings that I have on my Instagram. I've got all of that type of information there as well as in the description down below. But if you want to check out those and get a reading yourself this holiday season, then definitely check those out as early as possible, especially if you want those for Christmas or anything like that, or other types of really big holidays that happen around this time. But yeah, I think that is everything. I'm wishing you guys a wonderful autumn season or spring where you are at, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Hello group 2, if you've decided to choose the special dark chocolate, then this is the pile for you. We are going to be looking into the tricks and the treats up their sleeve and on their way to you this autumn season or spring season, depending on where you are at or when you are watching. Who knows? It could be any season really. But we're going to be using the charms, the watercolor affirmations. We're also going to be using several different oracle decks, which I'll have listed in the description down below, as well as the Antique Anatomy Tarot for your tarot deck today. So I'm going to be doing this a little bit differently, and I really just wanted to play around with this reading, so definitely just see how it comes through, see how it resonates, because I'm going to be doing it a little different in that I'm going to be looking for one tarot card for your trick and one tarot card for your treat, and there's definitely gray area between these cards, right? So we could have a trick that comes in that actually ends up being really humorous, like those knock knock jokes that you hear little kids say, but they can also be, much more like a trick. So it just depends on how that comes in. But then on the same side, on the same token, you can have a treat that ends up being too sweet or too bitter. So we're going to see what, where you're going to walk the line between those and grab some more information with oracle cards. But do let me know how you think of this reading by giving this video a like or a comment down below. I'd love to know your guys' thoughts, but feel free to send your energy in now that we're settled through time and space, and let's get started. So what is a trick on its way in for you? So I'm going to actually take this one. So we have here the 6 of Rods. I do believe it's 6. Yes, the 6 of Rods. Sometimes it's hard to tell. You have to count them. But here we are with the 6 of Rods, or the 6 of Wands as your trick coming in. So usually that talks about having a community on your side or working with a community and feeling an achievement. So I wonder how that achievement makes you feel. Sometimes we can achieve something and, like for me, I finished college, but then it's like, what next? So in some ways it's exciting, but it ends up being tricky, right? So let's see how it gets more complicated here. Let's see more on your treat side. So what is a treat on its way in for you, group 2 here? Group 2, what is a treat on its way in for you? And feel free to send your energy in. That always helps so much. So group 2, what is a treat on its way in? So I'm going to take this card here. And for you, that is the 2 of Blades. So maybe it's about needing to make a decision and finally making that decision, right? So there's something about you making a decision and that being your treat. So if you've been waiting on a decision to be made by other people, if you've been waiting on a verdict, or if you yourself are just ready to start on a new path and you just were very indecisive for quite a while, there is something about you finally finding that path or finally making that decision here recently and it being a treat for you. So that's really exciting. We're going to get more information and see how these all blend and work together. So group 2 here. Group 2. What is falling in between here for your tricks and treats? So we have peace. Here we are with peace. There's something about peace, harmony, feeling alignment, feeling aligned with your true purpose, and feeling supported as well, possibly by spirit or by yourself or by just finally feeling supported by your community possibly as well, finding peace of mind. Yeah, so we have peace showing up here. Very angelic as well, this specific figure anyway, very goddess-like. So let's see some more information before we dive even deeper, and more so as we dive even deeper. We're going to look for some more information first here with your trick. So that 6 of Rods, let's get some more information on that 6 of Rods. Where in your community are maybe you feeling like you have this achievement, but it's not feeling what you thought it was going to be. So, okay. I kept saying community because whenever you see these 6 of Rods, usually it's someone riding on a horse with the like victory flag kind of vibe in their hand, and then there's a whole bunch of people riding behind them or walking behind them and marching with them and being like, yes, you've achieved your thing, you've done your work, you've done this stuff. But I feel like in this case, there could be some gossip, some toxic vibes going on in the community that you have right now. If it's online, then maybe it's about needing to block these people or needing to see their true intentions of following you, right? We have some people who are like fake followers, fake friends, who just want to follow along with your achievements and get the praise or something like that behind you. So there is something about people maybe using you in that way. Not your entire community, I don't feel like, but there are some people, because here with the chickens it talks about a lot more with gossip with the birds, or needing to just make a better communication between the community that is backing you up on what you are trying to achieve within your goals and your vision at this time. So we have the 7 of Pentacles, so as well as the number 12. So you're on your way to trying to get this achievement, that's for sure. It's not there yet, but you maybe feel like you need to have these people on your side, or you're never going to get that peace of mind, or you're never going to get that thing that you want. And that's just showing through here, like almost like you feel like you're bound to have their help at some point, to collaborate with you at some point, or you need their praise or validation to feel like you're doing it right, and you don't, right? You just need to follow your own heart, follow your own path, follow your own space, because that's where the truth really lies of the situation, and that you are the one who makes these decisions. You are the one that gets to empower yourself. And whether they're walking behind you or not, you're still on that horse, you still have the victory, you know? So let's see what else is coming in here with your treat of the 2 of Blades. So we're looking for the 2 of Blades or the 2 of Swords here. What is coming in here for them? So we also, oh my goodness, group 1 also had the Rider. So it's really cool that you guys are both getting the Rider. Maybe because multiple of you have been watching this pile, or you watched both pile 1 and pile 2, but there is something here about the Rider. In this case, we have the number 1 as well as the 9 of Cups. And this is the male Rider, and they also have a lot of speed to them. They are very quick-witted, and they usually bring good news, or they are bringing news in general to you. That's what I'm really feeling. It's like they're bringing news to you. Where pile 1, I felt like they were the Rider. In this case, I feel like they're sending news to you, and you're on your way to it, right? So once you get that peace of mind with your community, it seems like the treats that are on their way in are these... like I said, I almost feel like it's not that you necessarily need to make a decision, but that a verdict needs to be made, and you're waiting maybe in terms of like more law-related things. Maybe you're waiting for something to come in, waiting for a verdict to be made, but it also can just be in general more mundane things. It can even just be that if you've been awaiting like a guest to come and stay with you, you've been waiting for a friend to be able to come, and they weren't sure if they were going to be able to make it or something like that. I just feel like it's going to be the positive outcome that you're looking for on its way in. And then also there is creativity that comes with this card as well. You have this harp that they are writing in with, so that's why that message comes in and shows like I talked about this in my last video. There was like this idea of shufflemancy and stuff like that. So if you guys are interested in your spiritual and magical gifts and abilities and stuff like that, definitely check out that video, because I don't know why I'm just getting this like need for you guys to check that out, because I think the messages that may be coming to you, these beautiful treats, are through music. That you're gonna get like this epiphany through music or something that's gonna help you figure out your path. But yeah, and maybe even give you some peace of mind. So I just felt like I needed to tell you guys that, but we're going to go ahead and get some more information. Here we're going to be looking into, and sorry if that was blurred there for a minute, but we are going to be looking into your advice card here. So what advice do you have coming in from spirit, from yourself, from your higher self at this time to navigate both these tricks and these treats on their way in for you? So feel free to send your energy in. Group 2, the advice for group 2. You also got 2 cards. Group 1 as well had 2 cards. So in this case, you have discover, look at the early dewdrops before they disappear in the morning. So it's about discovering those little things, those things that maybe not everybody looks at, or maybe you've been kind of not looking at, right? That's where those epiphanies are coming in. Listen to music for sure. There might be lyrics or specific songs that are really going to inspire you to start making these decisions, start going down new paths, and start realizing the power that you have towards the community that you are in, right? Block those people, move past those people, or just start to see their real true colors. And maybe they are great colors, right? Maybe they're the beautiful colors that you're looking for, and maybe they're not, but there is something about needing to discover those. And then we also have dare, take a risk and fly. So whatever you are starting to head on within this treat, maybe it's that you need to be a little bit more risky or a little bit more impulsive. Just get on the horse and go. The writer in the first pile, and I know I keep referring to it, but the first pile's writer is kind of sitting, trotting around. In this case, you are just racing. You are moving and you're ready to go. Your thoughts are racing, but they're starting to take you on, like, I think you're just going to use your impulse, especially if you feel like what made you feel like you could get to this place of achievement that you've been really looking for, this success. Maybe it's made you feel like you have to wait for a specific verdict, or you have to tiptoe around or take smaller baby steps. But in this case, I really think like maybe you guys need to follow, not necessarily be impulsive, but follow your impulse. So what is your heart just like pulsing you towards? What are you feeling, this gut feeling to start heading towards and go towards? And maybe it's just time to really start discovering what that is, and maybe daring yourself to go for it. A little newborn bird obviously shouldn't fly right away, but once they have those wings, once they're ready to go, I mean, they're going to have to dare themselves to do it at some point. And you have these wings, and where are you ready to fly off to? And I think the reason why that also connects here is with this peace card. I think it's going to give you peace of mind to be able to finally fly, because we have all these little doves, which are beautiful messengers. So it doesn't necessarily have to be flying, but it is just that you're going to finally get your message out there, finally get your what you've been discovering, what you're heading towards out there, your soul purpose, mission, feeling, this gut feeling that you want, and just go for it, and not listen to all the gossip telling you this or that. Just follow your own heart, your own destiny here. And I know I'm talking really big, like soul mission, destiny, purpose, but sometimes those are just basically words to just tell us what is your gut telling you to go after, and maybe it's really the path you need. So we're going to go ahead and pull you one final card here with the watercolor affirmations, and then we're going to go even deeper. And I really liked the charms of of pile number 1, so we're going to go deeper with the charms here and to see more tricks and treats on their way in. But here we are with group 2. What does group 2 have coming in for some more advice for group 2 for these tricks and these treats? All right, so you have 2 of them here. So first off, we have keep life simple and all you desires on the other side of fear. That's what I was saying. Just follow your impulse. I think you're overthinking it. Try not to overthink it. And I think that's when those treats are going to start coming in. They're not going to be as bitter for you. They're not going to be overly sweet. They're just going to be like, okay, maybe I'm not sure exactly what I want, but my gut is telling me this. And just discover what that means. It doesn't always mean you have to take action. Sometimes it's about taking rest, right? So whatever that is for you, just start to follow that impulse and see where it really is taking you. So yeah, love that for you guys. Feel free to really pause and see here what we have and how it resonates for you before we move on to the charms. I also was going to mention too, I asked in pile number 1 as well, just sort of a fun little question. If you guys are enjoying this reading so far, to feel free to like this video, but also let me know in a comment down below for the trick or treat theme. If you guys ever went Halloween trick or treating, what was like your childhood knock joke that you always used when you went to your neighbors' yards to get the candy? Like, what was your trick? What was your treat? You know, what was your favorite thing to always take from each of the little piles of candy that you could receive? All that kind of stuff. I would love to know your guys' like nostalgic memories in terms of Halloween, but also just how you celebrate. I would love to know that kind of stuff. I think it's super fun. So let me know in a comment down below. But we're going to go ahead and move on to your charms now that you've had a little second to look here. And we're going to look into more information on tricks and treats on a smaller scale that are starting to head in for you during this spooky season. So, okay, let's go ahead and have a little stir. Okay, so not a lot of charms here. We have a couple that fell here in the center and then some on each side. So what I did is split this entire board up into 2 different pieces, and I'm going to zoom you in so you can see it a little bit more here, but I basically just split it in 2 different pieces. So here are your parts of your trick, and here are parts of your treats on the way in, and then here in the center is your advice or bigger moments that are coming in between them. So let's start with your tricks. So in this case, you have a few different things coming in. We have intuition, and then we have diving in with the like bejeweled dolphin here, and then we also have we have another charm that was chilling over here, but we have 2 different charms talking about your solar plexus, which has a lot to do with your confidence, which has to do with how successful you feel or the self-esteem that you have. But I feel like at this time, there's like this disconnect, right, between your intuition, what you want to dive into, and how confident you feel about making those steps forward, which has a lot to do with what you first had with that card that you had coming in with the 6 of Wands, right? That your confidence has more to do with your community than it does with your own personal intuition and drive. So that's going to start to become a lesson for you to start switching that over. That your successes have less to do with being validated by the performance of how good your offerings are, or how good your work ethic is, or how good you are as a leader within the community that you serve. Like, I just feel like a lot of it has to do with how you feel from other people's perspectives, and it's how do you feel about what you are doing. Does it feel good? Does it not feel good? And how can you start shifting that for yourself? Maybe that's needing to make closure with different friends and people in your community that maybe you've always been really loyal to, but just really are, instead of being something that is good for you, it's just more of like a latch that you're being stuck to. So see how that resonates. But then here on your treat side, we have the 5 as well as the fall in love charm. So it doesn't really say fall in love, honestly, on here very well anymore. It used to say fall in love here because it actually was like a fall themed little set of these. So it was like kind of a joke. So there is something about creating humor within the conversations that you're having within this community as well. Lightening up your community, making sure that it stays light and bright for you. That doesn't necessarily mean that you can't have deeper conversations, but just lightening things back up, I think, would be really helpful. But then also, because you got the fall in love charm, and then you also have the Claddagh here, I do think that you might be finding new friendships or new partnerships at this time, or at least new people that you're going to be falling back in love with, or falling in love with. There's something that you're going to be falling in love with, and this can be people, this can be new hobbies, or if there's been a lot of conflict within your partnerships at this time or friendships, it's maybe just falling back in love with those people, falling back in love with the community now that you've kind of separated yourself from the people that no longer serve you. But there's something about falling back in love this autumn season or this spring season for you, and finding the love in what you're doing again, with the people you're doing all this beautiful discovering with. So yeah, that's really exciting. Definitely take time to see if these resonate differently for you. Who knows, this could be more literal. Maybe you're seeing dolphins, maybe you're Irish, or there's something, very specific to each of you. Something maybe even with your clothing, with the clothespin. The charms can be really funny, so definitely see how they resonate. But we are going to go ahead and close off this reading for you. And do let me know, like I said, your funny joke in the comments. I'd love to have a little laugh with you guys, but also I think it would just be fun to see what you guys think of these readings. I might even do them again beyond the season because I just think it was really fun, the setup of this type of reading. So let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. And any other personal anecdotes that you want to tell, I would love to know your guys' thoughts. Do be sure to give this video a like. It really helps so much. Also, feel free to subscribe if you are interested in this beautiful community of kindred spirits and you want to maybe even join this community, join a new community if you'd like. It's a really wonderful space, as well as on my Instagram. There's a lot of wonderful community feedback there, and I just think that you guys are really wonderful people to hang out with. I constantly am talking to you guys in DMs, or constantly talking in comments through here, through the whole any place that I can. I just love to really connect with you guys. So feel free to subscribe if you want to see those Monday readings that I put out, or join this community. And then lastly, if you want to support this channel even further by supporting yourself through a reading, then that is definitely possible for you. So if you're interested in the snail mail readings that I do, feel free to check those out. I send a reading to you in the mail. This is also internationally, by the way. So I send this reading to you in the mail with all of the information I find on whatever question or query that you have for love, career, spirituality, or so much more. That is hand typed on a vintage typewriter from the 1970s and sent to you, so you can physically treasure it and really understand and take a second to really sit with the messages that are coming in for you. But also, I send in handmade magical spell paper from my own 2 hands to you, as well as a personalized sigil for your rituals and workings that can help aid in whatever comes through with your reading. So if that's something you're interested in, the magic of it, the typewriter side of it, or just the fun of having a letter come to you in the mail, then definitely feel free to check those out down below in the description. And also on my Instagram, there's a lot of information there, as well as honest reviews. So with all of that said, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I am going to go ahead and close this off, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Hello Group 3, if you've decided to choose this Mr. Goodbar with the peanuts, then this is the pile for you. I'm going to go ahead and set it down right here for you so you can see it during your reading here today, as we are going to be really playing around with this reading and just trying up a new setup for me and a new, more structured type of reading. So if you guys are into it, definitely let me know with your own personal feedback through the comments or likes. But yeah, I'm just super excited to start diving in. I've already really enjoyed pile 1 and 2, so I want to see what's coming in for you, group 3. With the charms, the watercolor affirmations, we're also going to be using 3 different oracle decks, which I'll have listed down below in the description, as well as the Antique Anatomy Tarot for the spooky vibes. Even if you're in the Southern Hemisphere in the spring, this still applies to you, or even if you're just watching this way in the future beyond the spooky season, this definitely can apply to you as well. So feel free to send your energy in through time and space, but I'm going to go ahead and start shuffling these here in a moment. I did want to talk about the structure we're going to be using here today, so I'm going to pull one card here from the tarot deck for a trick on its way in for you, and one for a treat, as well as many oracle cards to sort of see where that is all aligning here for you. But what I think is going to be fun is that sometimes a trick, right, we think of that as someone tricking us, or there's, this trick in the universe, but sometimes it's humorous, like the knock knock jokes that we hear at the door, or sometimes it's, like I learned this new trick. So it can be something positive or something negative. There's definitely gray area there, as well as with the treat, right? We think of a treat as something that's going to be really sweet and lovely, but sometimes it's too sweet or it's too bitter. So there's definitely a gray area with these cards, and we're going to see where you are walking between that gray area. So here we go. Send your energy in as we look first for your trick on its way in. So group 3, what trick do you have on the way in? So we have Justice here. It's got both the heart and the head. Okay, so we have Justice, trying to find the space sort of in between moderation and balance, but this also can talk about consequences to our actions, and they don't always have to be so easily discernible, right? Sometimes we have consequences, sometimes we don't for the same action, and where you kind of fall between there. So there is something about consequences coming in here of your actions here with the first card for your trick, but we're going to look into the treat on its way in. So group 3 here, group 3, what treat is on its way in for you? The treats on their way in for group 3 here. So here we are with the 7 of Rods. So here we are. So this talks about adversity, or trying to stand up against, the grain, and just really putting yourself out there and being like, nah, putting your foot down. So there is something about maybe kind of coming into your own power. That can be a really beautiful treat, or finding your boundaries, really stating your boundaries. That can be a difficult one, but definitely well worth the reward that can come through with that. Although there is consequences to the actions that you make, to the voice that you put out there. But I think that they're going to be well worth it if they are for ones that you feel are just to you. So we're going to go ahead and look even deeper. So we're going to look for more of that middle gray zone here with this oracle card. So send your energy in, group 3. So you have Justice and the Suit of Rods. So there is something about inspiration as well. So we have home. So it could be something that's happening within the home, something that's happening within the place that you live, with your roommates, with your family members, or within just something that happens in a space that you feel really cozy, but things are starting to change, the dynamic's starting to change, or you're ready to change that dynamic and put your foot down. So there is something about the home here. Let's see some more information. That's a really beautiful card. Definitely take time to look. We have sunflowers here. Lots of flowers that are very on the fall spectrum, right? So they do talk about the solar plexus and the sacral chakra, which has to do with, or the energy center rather, that has to do with your confidence, growing into your confidence. Can also talk about your ego. So there is something about maybe needing to do some pros and cons lists before you really act. But yeah, so let's go ahead and see some more information. So I'm going to look even deeper into this Justice card and this treat card that you have here by asking some more information here with these cards. So with the Justice card, let's get some more information here for the trick coming in for group 3. Please, group 3. So here we are with the book. So it it is something that you are learning or has something to do with learning, books, possibly secrets as well, holding or withholding secrets, right? This book isn't open, it's closed, it's tied closed. So it could be something, maybe you're in the broom closet, or maybe you are withholding secrets or surprises from other people, maybe trying to trick other people. So there could be something there. You could have, a just reason for doing so, but it can also be a more selfish reason. So definitely see how that resonates, see how it's coming through for you. But we have the number 26 as well as the 10 of Pentacles. The 10 of Pentacles has a lot to do with family, legacy, withholding a legacy, or trying to, I almost am feeling like you're wanting to kind of move away from the status quo that your family has kind of created over the years, and being like, okay, I just am not that person. I'm not going to be that person. I'm not going to be who you've maybe always thought I was going to be, and changing and flipping the script, writing a new book, writing a new space, writing in a diary your secrets and your actual feelings. But there's something about that changing, that dynamic changing, and a voice being heard on this side. So yeah, let's go ahead and grab one more here. So for the treat, let's get some more information here with the suit of rods for the 7 of rods here. Group 3. So we also have here more family with the trees. So there's definitely something maybe having to do with your family, your friends, your close friend group, your chosen family, starseed family, something like that. But here we are with the little knotted up tree. This also can talk about your health. But yeah, there's the number 5 here as well as the 7. So we have another 7 as well. So there's 2 7s here, 7, 7, 77, with the 7 of hearts or the 7 of cups, which can talk about being indecisive. But in this case, I really just think that it might have something to do with your health or your mental health, or that the current situation that you are in, because this also does talk about legacy, right? Again, with the, there's a specific sentence that came from the Hamilton musical here. Wait, here it is. It is legacy. What is a legacy? It's planting seeds in a garden you never get to see. I have that on my wall, so if it sounded weird there, it was because I was looking away. But this is about, we're planting a garden, right? But you're not going to actually see that garden, right? Vincent van Gogh, they were a beautiful, wonderful painter, but at the time, nobody really liked his work, right? But they wouldn't know the legacy that they have on people like me as a painter years later. But vice versa, this also talks about like the legacy that's happening right now in the current moment. So your family just may not understand the legacy that you want to do has maybe nothing to do with what they want, or your friends, or even your own personal expectations. Maybe at one point you grew this beautiful tree, you have this beautiful job, you have this beautiful life, but the new seeds that are starting to grow here, these new fruits of your labors, these new places that you want to go, they don't align with the previous tree. You don't want to grow to be an oak. Maybe you want to be an ash tree, right? So you're starting to flip the script. You're starting to change things, and maybe people just don't like that, and there could be consequences to that, and that may be where that trick is coming in. But there's also a lot of liberation. There's a lot of beauty that comes from freeing yourself from that old script and narrative. And it can even be society as well, right? So it doesn't have to be necessarily your family, although that's coming through most strongly. But see what resonates for you. That's always most important when we work together within these readings, to see what comes through for you. So I'm going to go ahead and pull you an advice card. So here we are. We're going to look for some advice from your higher self, or guides at this time. So group 3, what do you have as advice to walk the space between these consequences and wanting to be yourself, branching on your own, trying something new, flipping that script? All right, so group 3, what do you have coming in? And feel free to send your energy in through time and space here. It always truly helps so much. And by doing that, that can just be like slowing down your breath. If you guys do any energy work, that can be really helpful to send that in. But here we are with change. Wow, what a beautiful card for you guys. It's time to change. It's time to change. As with the falling leaves, embrace change, right? So I was even talking about that with the actual tree card, right? That you're just starting to be a different tree, grow some new roots. People, maybe you already are starting to change, but your roots are underground, right? Our very first beginnings changes that we make are actually happening in those roots. Nobody's seeing those roots. No one's seeing where you're spreading those roots. They're only seeing the tree that you're growing. So where are you starting to communicate that, like, no, my roots have changed, my values have changed, I'm starting to shake that core within myself, and now it's time to communicate that and be a little brave, right? So, or even that you don't owe anyone an explanation either, but you're finally following yourself more freely. Wow, so empowering, your guys' group. I feel chills myself. I don't know if you guys are feeling them too, but yeah, anyway, we're going to go ahead and pull you your final card here with the watercolor affirmations, but definitely stay tuned later because we're going to be looking into the charms, and we're going to look even deeper. I'm going to be splitting up the board and doing a whole thing, so definitely stay tuned for those. But here we are, group 3. What affirmations you have coming in here, group 3? So, of course, you got the Grow, Evolve, Transform charm. Card in this case. So this is about, going from the little tiny worm, going through the cocoon and becoming the butterfly, or lots of different things come from that, right? Some flowers become fruits, some seeds become trees, right? So we're always going through a transformation, and sometimes our human ones aren't as noticeable as the butterfly, but they are just as powerful. So you're currently going through your butterfly moment, or you're going through that cocoon, you're becoming goo, and you're coming out as something completely different than maybe all your little caterpillar friends, right? So you're growing. You're becoming your own person, becoming and growing and evolving from even maybe a previous version of yourself. And I think that that's really beautiful. I think it's really important that you start to tell people about how you're feeling, making sure that you're not keeping this book closed, and start moving. And there's gonna be consequences to your words. There's going to be people who are just gonna be like, no, don't be doing that. I don't align with that. That's not within my values, not in my home, kind of thing. But I think that you're gonna stand, with this sunflower, one of the cards that I have. I'm actually going to pull it out for you. It's from this Language of Flowers deck. Let me just find it real quick. Oh, here it is. Okay, so it is Sunflower Assertiveness, Rise Up Stronger and Truer. And in this case, you have these sunflowers, right? So I just think there's something about you moving forward, standing taller. Have you seen how tall sunflowers can grow? Super tall. And, they are proud and they are free and they move. And I just love that. So I really see that for you. I'm going to go ahead and leave this one out for you guys. It's time to change. It's time to be assertive. It's time to grow into your own and let it flourish, and let yourself flourish and grow and transform and evolve. So before I go ahead and move on to your charms, I do want to just remind you guys to give this video a like if you really did like this reading so far. And also, I've been asking the other piles, will you just take a moment to maybe meditate with these cards before we move on? Just to let me know in a comment down below, not only what this reading maybe meant for you or how it resonated for you, but also just because it's fun, let me know your guys's maybe holiday plans, or spring plans, or fall, autumn plans, the things that you just really love about this season, about this spooky time of year, but also a knock-knock joke, because I personally, whenever I went to do trick or treat as a kid, for me on little Halloween as a little tiny witch, I would do, a trick or treat to my neighbor, and that would always be a knock-knock joke. And in my case, it was usually one about Winnie the Pooh, and all of my neighbors knew that exact joke, and I'm sure they could still recite it because I never came up with a new one. So if you guys want to send me some new ones, some new ideas, or ones that maybe that kind of are nostalgic to you around this season, then let me know in the comments down below. I think that would just be a lot of fun, so definitely feel free to participate. But yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and move on. I'm loving this type of reading so far. It's been a lot of fun for me, so I do really hope it has been for you, especially with the type of cards that you guys got. So yeah, with these charms, I'm going to do the same thing where this half of the board is the tricks and these are the treats, and then how you're kind of working between them here with the circle. So let's go ahead and pull those. Okay. I really felt like I needed to stir yours up. So we're gonna see what's coming in here. We have quite a few in the center, so there is just something about them kind of working on both sides. We only have one on your treat, but a few on the side here. With the number, we don't have a number coming in here. It's about your face, showing yourself, being your true self. The mask was on, it is no longer. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom you in so you can actually see what I'm talking about here. There we go. Okay, so, all right, let's start here with your tricks. So we have when I first pulled this out, it was upside down, but then here it is, you actually showing your face. We also have movement, the black and white charm, so showing that something may be more black and white than it seems, or that it doesn't have to be as complicated. And then we have the Cinderella shoe of feeling like maybe time is running out, and it's time to make a move. So in this case, the consequences that are coming in may feel very black and white. They may feel like, okay, if I do this, then that means that this is going to happen. And unfortunately, sometimes that is how it is. And if you feel safe enough to be your true self, then definitely do it. If you don't feel safe enough, then just being safe and maybe having to hide part of yourself doesn't feel as liberating, and maybe that's part of the trick. But it is at least that you're finally being true to yourself in the mirror, right? True to yourself in that journal, in that diary, being honest with yourself. I think that is still a beautiful moment that can be coming in for you during this autumn or spring season. We also have the night charm, and in this case, this can represent a night in tarot, but you didn't have one coming in. So instead, this has more to do with chess. If you guys have ever played chess, I personally really like the game, but a lot of people don't really tend to play it much. It's where you move this I was going to say charm, but this specific piece, it can move one up or two to the right, or it can move two forward and one to the right. And basically, you're sidestepping something. And in this case, I think you're still sidestepping having this conversation every time it comes up, or every time you have the opportunity to be like, okay, this is me now. This is who I am. It's like you almost kind of back away or shy away from it. And I don't think that that's always a bad thing, but it is definitely something that has its own personal consequence too. So, right, there's a consequence of not, and there's consequence of being open. And at the end of the day, it's up to you. But I do think that this charm of the Cinderella is telling you that you can live in your own fantasy, but time is running out for you on a mental health level of how long that's going to really work out in your favor, unfortunately. But here on the treat side, we do have more liberation. We also have the daisy, and this one always makes me think of bringing things back down to a pure level, bringing things back down to less complicated, simpler times, where you just like pick little daisies from the ground and you're just frolicking around in the grass, things like that. It makes me think of that. I also got this charm from my mom, which, because you have so much family coming in here, it can represent maybe a mother for you and feeling like freedom from that, or feeling like a conversation is going to create a lot more freedom there. But there is something about maybe having your mom on your side. They're going to be a sweet treat for you, or it can just be that they are definitely a part of this liberation for you. Either whether that's positive or negative, because this is a collective reading, it could go both ways, but that is showing up here. And then here in the center, just in general, things that are starting to come in between these tricks and these treats, we have more transformations. This is the big transformations charm, where I have smaller ones. This is a big transformation because this used to be a spoon and now it is a necklace and now it is a charm, right? So it went from a lot of different things and it's finally made it to this place, and it can even transform again one day. So at this point, you are transforming from the spoon to the next thing. You're evolving to the next step for yourself, possibly in where you want to travel or seeing things from a bigger perspective. But then also, this is the career charm. hopefully it'll show up here. So this, I always just think of this meaning like money, and you're feeling kind of chained down to it. So that could be something having to do with your career, possibly something to do with music or travel that you're transforming within at this time. So either career, travel, or something to do with your own voice or voicing your own opinions through music or through creativity, through the creative arts. The other thing I want to talk about with the tower here of the Eiffel Tower is we always talk about the Eiffel Tower as being this really beautiful monument. This kind of takes me back to that same feeling I had with pile 2, if you watched pile 2, and then also within this pile when I talked about that legacy that happens, but also with famous painters and poets and things like that didn't always get the credit at the time for all the transformational work that they were doing in their own personal expression and just walking their own path, but they did get it later in life. And so it may be something that's just going to take time and age. And that's the same thing with the Eiffel Tower. When the Eiffel Tower first went up, a lot of people hated it. They wanted it down. They thought it looked ugly. They did not want it in Paris, right? But over time, it became this beautiful national monument for Paris and that whole space. So something that maybe is adversity can become beauty over time. So I think that that's really beautiful for your personal transformation, is that you're sticking to your own guns and just kind of walking your own walk. And maybe people won't get it right at first, but they will over time. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and close off this reading. Definitely take time to look at these charms if there's anything that's coming through for you. And I'll turn this one over as well with the face. But I'm going to go ahead and close off this reading. Do let me know with a like or in the comments how this resonated for you specifically, as I do think that I might be doing these types of readings again in the future because I just think they're a lot of fun in general. So if that's something you guys would like to see again, definitely let me know in the comments down below, or if you have other suggestions, knock jokes, or what you're doing this holiday season or spring season for yourself, the nostalgic memories and all of that. I would love to know, so definitely participate in that conversation. But also, I did want to remind you guys to feel free to subscribe if you are new. I would love to have you guys part of this beautiful growing community of kindred spirits as I put out a new reading every single Monday. So you can definitely check those out, or other ones on my channel already. There's tons that you can check out. And also lastly, if you want to support this channel even further and support yourself through a personal private reading of my own to send to you for whatever query you may have on love, career, spirituality, or something else entirely, then definitely reach out. I would love to hold that space for you, as I do snail mail readings where I send a letter to you in the mail. It is typewritten on a vintage typewriter from the 1970s that I absolutely love. That typewriter is so wonderful and such a workhorse for all the readings that I do for you guys. So not only that you can receive it in the mail and treasure this beautiful reading in person and really just sit with it and feel it, but also I send in handmade spell paper and ritual paper that you can receive as well as a magical spell symbol known as a sigil you can use in your rituals and workings. Even if you're a beginner, definitely reach out. I still think that could be a lot of fun for you, as it helps to aid in whatever has come up in your reading. So with all of that said, if that's something you're interested in to empower yourself and move through the world with, then definitely check those out down below or on my Instagram, where I have lots of honest reviews of how others found their reading to go and how you can just visually see what that's all about. But yeah, definitely check those out. Subscribe, like, comment, and I'm going to go ahead and close off this reading. Wonderful, beautiful treats on their way for you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.